If there's one free tip that I could give you that would make sure that you obtain sharp images, well, that's coming up in this week's episode of Sniper Photography. Just like to offer a big shout out to Touchdown Digital, the sponsors of this week's video. Hello, my name's Len Salmon and you're watching Sniper Photography. Look, today I want to talk to you about one subject which I believe is very, very important. And if you're looking for sharp images or making sure that your images are sharp, then I'm going to give you one tip. And that tip is this: using a tripod. Okay? One surefire way of obtaining sharp images is with a tripod. Now, I currently own 3 tripods for my personal photography, which I'll get back to you shortly on that. 99.9% of my photography, I use a tripod, even in the studio. Now, I've had people and clients come up to me and say, "Oh, Glenn, you don't shoot handheld when you're in the studio." No, I use a tripod. Now, I know I can control movement with shooting at high shutter speeds, such as high speed sync with strobes and flash and artificial lighting in a studio, and I can freeze the movement with faster shutter speeds. But even still, you can still get that soft appearance to the image, which just doesn't cut it, especially with clients that they're paying you good money for. But with my personal photography, I still believe tripods are a must. Now, just recently here on YouTube, a video was placed by a so-called YouTube photographer expert on how to shoot a waterfall handheld without a tripod to obtain sharp images. Well, quite frankly, that person should be thrown in jail and the key thrown away, quite frankly. I mean, I don't care I don't give a bugger how good your camera is or lens is with stabilization in either unit. There's just no way that you could get a positively pin sharp image by shooting a waterfall at 1/5 of a second handheld. That just does not happen. So be careful what you read and watch on social media. So tripods, why do I think they're important? Well, I think they are super important with photography. As I said, there's been plenty of times where I could have shot handheld, but I don't really need to do that. I prefer a pin sharp image all the way across the frame. It's not soft. Now, there's a big difference between softness, out of focus, and blur in photography. There's 3 different things, and I'm talking about the softness of an image. You know, you see these images posted on here on YouTube and Facebook and all these other social media sites, and they look pin sharp. But if you put those images on a screen, a big screen, I can rest assure you, you'll find flaws because there's probably been some sort of movement. Now, with tripods, seriously, that is one of the best items that you could buy. And I don't care what sort of photography you're doing. These are a must as far as I'm concerned. They slow you down, which is a good thing with our photography. But for pin sharp images, to get them pin sharp, you need stability. It's the utmost important part of taking a photograph, actually. You need good stability. And it comes down to tripods. Now, I have 3 tripods that I use personally. This one is the Benro. It's a carbon fiber tripod. It has 32mm legs. All my tripods have spikes. I don't like the rubber feet. Great for indoors, but outside, rocks, sand, mud, snow, spiked feet. So if your tripod doesn't have spiked feet, get rid of it and buy one that has. Or if you can swap out your rubber feet and put the spikes in, go for it, because once again, this is all about stability. Now, this particular tripod I use on long hikes into down into the gullies here in the mountains, because I've got a long, hard walk out. I've got about 20 odd kilos worth of gear on my back. So this is the tripod that I'd take on those sort of treks. The next one that I use is a heavier tripod. This is the Innerel tripod, a much, much bigger tripod. Once again, spike feet. This particular tripod is carbon fiber. I use this when the walks aren't too hard, or I'm walking along fire trails where I don't have to climb in and out of gullies and ravines and all this sort of stuff. it's a monster tripod. This is the RT80C from Interrel. Great product, actually. I brought these with my own money. No one bloody gives me anything. But yeah, this is a 36mm legs, quite large. Once again, spike feet. And the stability in these type of tripods is second to none, quite frankly. And there are other brands out there that you can use. So once again, get yourself a good tripod for pin sharp images. And the final tripod that I use is the big brother to the RT80C. This is the 90C. Now this is a monster. This is a huge tripod. This is, this is 42mm legs. It's massive. It's a massive tripod. It's heavy, even though it's carbon fibre. It actually won't fit in the side of the camera bag. I've got to carry it like that when I'm walking around. Once again, I only use this in areas where there's no big walks or any strenuous sort of climbs out of the areas here in the mountains, because this is just, by geez, you're carrying this around for a couple of hours, you're really carrying a tripod. But once again, I also use this on tops of cliffs when it's very, very windy, because I'm talking about stabilisation. Once again, big spike feet, 110mm. Just fantastic to have on your tripod. So this is all about stability and making sure that your images are pin sharp. It's so important that you keep everything steady and still. I've mentioned before on center columns, I think they're a joke. I don't know why people use them. Well, I do know why they use them, but if you've got a tripod that has a center column, try not to raise it, or swap it out and put a short column in there. It you just lose your stability by raising your center column. And I know I'm always banging on about it, but it's true. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and what I'm telling you is the truth. It's pure cold hard facts when it comes to tripods. Now I'm a very, very tall man, and these three tripods I showed you go to 195 centimeters, so that's quite high, and that's without center columns. So if you're in the market for a tripod, try and look for one that goes to your eye height, or probably a bit more, spike feet, carbon fibre, and make sure it's strong. Look at a proper ball head or a geared head, but it's all about stability. And if you want pin sharp images, I mean really pin sharp, I suggest you use a tripod. Now, I've been out on assignments, and I've instructed my assistant to go to the car and get the tripod out. And they said, what do you want a tripod for? I said, well, I want to make sure this is pin sharp for my clients. So tripods are a must. A good tripod. People say, oh, it's light but strong. Well, I don't know if you can get light and strong. I really don't know. But sure, some of the cameras these days are lighter. The mirrorless cameras are smaller and lighter. But even still, it's better to go overkill than having to either damage a camera or have a tripod collapse on you because it's inferior. Good tripods range from about $400 up to about $2,000. I know they're expensive up towards the top end, but a good tripod will last you a lifetime. It should outlast the camera body for a start, and it'll probably outlast you as well. So these tripods I've had for some time, and they absolutely cop a hammering. I don't baby my equipment. I look after it, but I don't fuss over them, and they will last me for probably forever. So if you want strong, pin sharp images, look at a tripod. Try not to shoot handheld. I know it might be convenient, and you might think, well, I can get away with it, but trust me, if you want pin sharp images, get yourself and start using a very, very good tripod. So any questions or comments, please put them down below. I'd like to get back to you as soon as I can. Yeah, it's an interesting subject, this. The next time you see me, I will be in Alaska and Canada. So I'll reach out to you when I'm over there. But other than that, that's it. I just wanted to put that forward. Tripods are a must for pin sharp images. So until next time, my name's Glenn Selmy. You've been watching Sniper Photography, and thank you for joining me here today. And as I always say, be nice to yourself, family and friends, but most of all, you keep shooting, keep smiling. Bye for now.